Hey there, it's me. Just got my yarn, which that's going to be backwards to you guys, but got my yarn in from Amazon, and it is really quite interesting. I don't know if you can see that. Nope, it's not going to show up, but it's like a little knit tube. It's very thick. It's a 5/8. It's interesting. It is Bernat Maker Home Deck and the colorway Pacific Variegated. And I'm going to use this for my beach bag. So I've got a few minutes before work, so I thought I would, wow, my hair is like all over the place. So I thought I'd sit here and get this started with you guys. Maybe. Just one second. I'm back. I had to read my pattern because I couldn't remember if it was double crochets or single crochets. And so while we're sitting here chatting, I'm going to show you how I do a magic ring. I don't know how anybody else does it. I'm left-handed, so basically I stick my yarn between my two fingers like so, wrap it around my thumb like so, and then I work in that little hole like so. It works for me. I don't know if it will help anyone else, but that's how I do it because I just can't seem to get anything else to work for me. So we'll sit here and chat while I crochet for the next little bit. Figured I'd get a little bit of stuff done. I only slept till about 1, so I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. But, I mean, it is what it is. So I only have to work one night. It's not like I have to do a whole bunch. So I can sleep tomorrow, hopefully. That's the one thing that I like working nights, but it bothers me because my sleep habit is all over the place. And so I worry about being able to stay awake all night. But it's not like I have to do this for 3 nights in a row. If I did this on my first night on my 3 nights in a row, it would make for an awful long 3 nights. So anyway, neither here nor there, but I just thought I'd throw that in there while I'm yik-yakking with you guys. So I really like this yarn. I mean, it's easy to work with. It's bulky, works up fast. I mean, I'm doing half doubles instead of doubles because I want the bottom to have absolutely no holes so stuff can't fall out. And I like this pretty Pacific color. I thought it was very appropriate for a beach bag. Pacific Variegated. So, I mean, I think about crafting now versus crafting when I first started. Way back in the day, I started when I was like 5, and it was whatever we had available. There was none of this jumping on Amazon business and ordering stuff because Amazon didn't exist back then. I was right. I was counting in my head and talking at the same time. That's impressive. I was only 1 off. So, but if anybody's made circles, you know that it's pretty mindless work. It's the same thing, you know. And then I just close up a circle, just like that. And I'm not one for cutting my tails. I just keep going with it and work it in. So, but yeah, back in the day, it was whatever mom had handy. When she would go to Walmart, yes, because Walmart did exist back then. It was kind of a new thing for us because I lived in New Mexico, and Mom was so excited. But before that, there was Kmart, and I think there was like TG&Y. Can't remember where else Mom would have bought yarn from. I know she used to order yarn through the mail from Mary Maxim. That was like a big place. She would always order yarn. But yeah, I don't really remember seeing a lot of yarn hanging out in the house until we moved to Missouri. And then once we moved to Missouri, then it was, I mean, maybe I just noticed it more. But I don't know. I just don't remember seeing it when I was a kid. But I know, I mean, I remember her knitting, because I remember her doing this big afghan for a local ladies group that I remember she cleared off the coffee table and made her own graph and did like a picture afghan, a knitted picture afghan for these ladies. And so, I mean, I remember her having yarn, but I just don't remember seeing it all over the, I mean, not like it was all over the house in Missouri, but if you could see the house in Missouri now, the yarn that she left me, oh my goodness. It was, I have enough to open 2 or 3 yarn shops, I swear. I mean, like 2 or 3 Hobby Lobbies. Well, maybe not that much, but, okay, so think about the yarn section in Hobby Lobby and multiply that by 2. And that might begin to touch the amount of yarn my mom had when she passed away. But I don't know, because my kids are still cleaning outbuildings and sheds, and they're finding yarn still yet to this day, and Mom passed away in 2019. So, and most of it is still in good condition because she made sure it was secure in, you know, good containers and, you know, wrapped in plastic and whatnot, you know. And so, yeah, my son sent me a picture the other day of yarn in a cedar chest that it was just tucked away in the corner of the house, and we just totally missed it. And it's like, it was full of yarn. But that was my mom. I mean, my mom had yarn. She loved yarn. And, yeah, and people gave her yarn. Just like after my mom passed away, people started giving me yarn, and I'm like, people, I don't need yarn. I'll take it, but I don't need it. It's like, you know, they would clean closets or whatever, or they, you know, their loved ones would pass away and they wouldn't know what to do with it. And so they would bring it to me. Right before I left my last job in Arkansas, before I started traveling, this lady was taking care of her aunt, and her aunt could no longer crochet and had to move. She couldn't live in her house anymore. And so 3 giant, you know, the like lawn size leaf bags, yes, those came my direction, full of yarn and crochet hooks, like the vintage kind of crochet hooks, and vintage stuff, not new stuff. So I always like that. I like the old-fashioned stuff. All right, I gotta pause here and count and make sure I got enough. Yep. I always like to count just to make sure, because you just never know. Sometimes you mess up and miss one, or you know, you get to talking and yakking like me, and but see, this is what I've got so far. Trying to find my camera there. And I mean, it's working out really nice. So I'm thinking that, and I'm hoping, I mean, it seems like it'd be fairly washable. So I'm hoping this beach bag will work out nicely. So, I've been yakking on for about 8 minutes now about the past, reminiscing, which has been fun. I mean, I did learn to knit and crochet when I was very young. I was only 5, maybe, or 6. And my mom, we lived in New Mexico in the middle of nowhere with nothing for me to do, and then especially in the wintertime when I couldn't go outside, yeah, I had to have something to do because I couldn't read all the time. I mean, there was only so many books, and you got to figure, okay, this is like 40 years ago, and I'd read all my books and reread my books, and so I learned to knit and crochet to help take up some of my time too. I mean, it was only natural because that's what my mom did, that's what my grandma did, and when my grandma came to visit, it was always, but heaven help me, once I learned how to crochet, my grandmother would look at my stuff, and if it wasn't right, she would tear it out. And she'd say, nope, do it right. And so, yeah, there was a lot of stuff I had to redo. But anyway, my time is drawing short because I have to get ready to go to work. I've got about 5 minutes before I have to leave, so I still got to do some stuff before I leave. So I'm going to end this here. If you like my reminiscence and my chit-chat while I crochet, leave me a comment down below. Give me some suggestions about memories you'd like to hear about. Give me a thumbs up, like, and share. I'm still working on my 45 subscribers by my 45th birthday, so please get this message out and share with your friends. And thanks for stopping by. I've enjoyed chatting.